Imagine if I revealed that many older adults are committing basic errors with their eggs, transforming this nutritious food into a potential health risk. Believe it or not, I was guilty of these very mistakes for a long time, completely unaware of the dangers. So, I urge you to stick with me until the conclusion, as the sixth point is often ignored, yet it's crucial. Before we proceed, could you do me a small favor, dear? Click the like button, share your thoughts in the comments if you're an egg enthusiast like myself, and don't forget to subscribe for additional health advice tailored for seniors. Error number 1, consuming eggs that are not thoroughly cooked. All right, dear, this initial blunder is something I've committed myself. You see, in the past, my spouse adored his eggs slightly boiled, with the yolk almost liquid, nearly sliding off the bread. I never thought twice about it. After all, that's how our forebears enjoyed them, isn't it? What danger could a slightly undercooked yolk pose? However, allow me to explain. As we grow older, our circumstances alter. Our immune defenses aren't as robust as they once were. In our youth, our bodies could ward off most pathogens, but past the age of 60, even a minor case of food poisoning can be debilitating. I mean, days confined to bed, dehydration, and possibly a hospital stay if caution isn't exercised. And do you know the primary cause of food poisoning from eggs? It's a bacteria called salmonella, which lurks in raw or insufficiently cooked eggs. Just last year, in 2023, a significant salmonella outbreak linked to undercooked eggs swept across several U.S. states, hospitalizing many, especially the elderly, according to the CDC. While most eggs are safe, it only takes one contaminated one. A single egg that wasn't handled or cooked correctly can turn your pleasant breakfast into a health crisis. I'm aware that some individuals boast, "I've always eaten undercooked eggs," and perhaps you have. But we're no longer in our 30s, my friend. The hazards increase with each year. So, after 65, it's best to avoid dipping bread into runny yolks, okay? The risk isn't worth it. When preparing eggs, ensure the yolk is solid, particularly when scrambling or frying. For baking, cooking, or sauces involving eggs, confirm that the dish reaches the appropriate temperature to eliminate any bacteria. And please, resist the urge to taste raw cookie dough. I understand the temptation, but it's not worth the potential hospitalization. Keep in mind, dear, our later years are meant for enjoyment, not for being bedridden due to a single egg. Always cook them completely. Blunder number 2, disregarding the origin of your eggs. Let's discuss the source of your eggs. And please don't dismiss this as unimportant because it's more critical than you might realize. Many individuals opt for the least expensive carton available at the grocery store. I was once in that habit as well. After all, an egg is an egg, correct? Incorrect. Eggs are not all created equal nowadays. In the past, most eggs were produced by small farms where chickens roamed freely, scratching the soil, living as nature designed. However, today the majority of those inexpensive, mass-produced eggs come from industrial farms. The hens are confined to cramped cages, administered antibiotics and hormones to endure those deplorable conditions. And where do those substances end up, my friend? Directly in the eggs you consume for breakfast. For older adults, our systems aren't as efficient at handling these additional chemicals. Hormones can disrupt our natural equilibrium, and regular consumption of small amounts of antibiotics can gradually impair our digestive health. You're aware of how vital gut wellness is as we age. It influences everything from our digestive function to our immune response and even our emotional well-being. That's why I advise, if possible, to invest a bit more. Seek out labels that say organic and raised in natural conditions. Free roaming doesn't always suffice anymore due to misleading marketing. Raised in natural conditions indicates that the hens had access to sunlight, grass, and a natural diet of insects and grains. And believe me, the difference is noticeable. The yolks are more vibrant, the whites are sturdier, and the nutritional value is superior. Moreover, you'll have peace of mind knowing you're not ingesting unknown additives. Once you experience eggs from content, naturally raised hens, you'll never want to return to the alternatives. Error number 3, incorrectly storing eggs. Now, this next point astonished me despite my decades of experience in the kitchen. For more than 60 years, I've been preparing eggs, yet I was mistaken about this. You're familiar with that small egg holder in the refrigerator door designed specifically for eggs? Well, forget about using it. For a long time, I would neatly arrange my eggs there, thinking it was the ideal location, as suggested by the appliance makers, a convenient, accessible row of eggs. However, it turns out that this is the least suitable place for egg storage. You see, each time the fridge door is opened, warm air enters, affecting the door area the most. With constant opening and closing, the eggs are subjected to temperature fluctuations, cold to warm, cold to warm. This creates an environment conducive to bacterial growth. Eggs require a stable, consistently cold temperature to remain safe and fresh, particularly for older adults who may have more sensitive digestive systems. Have you ever cracked an egg and noticed an unusual odor? That's a sign of improper storage. By the time you detect it, the bacteria have already proliferated, and consuming such an egg is akin to taking a serious health risk. Here's my current practice. I store eggs in their original packaging, sealed tightly, and place them on the middle or lower shelf of the refrigerator, towards the rear where it's coldest. The carton also shields them from absorbing smells from other foods, as eggshells are permeable and can take on the aroma of nearby items like leftover seafood or pungent vegetables. Additionally, always check the expiration dates. While eggs can have a decent shelf life, this is only true if they're stored correctly. I make it a habit to write the purchase date on the carton with a marker as soon as I get home, just to be cautious. Because, my friend, spoiled eggs don't merely spoil your meal, they can spoil your entire week. Blunder number 4, consuming excessive eggs daily without regard to cholesterol levels. Now pay attention, dear. This issue is complex because we've received conflicting advice over the years. One medical professional claims eggs are incredibly nutritious. Another warns they are cholesterol-laden risks to our cardiovascular health. It's perplexing, particularly for older individuals. Allow me to recount my personal experience. Eggs are indeed rich in nutrients, proteins, vitamins, minerals, and more. However, they also contain a significant amount of a fatty substance that can affect heart health, especially in the yolk. While younger people might metabolize this efficiently, after the age of 60 or 70, our bodies handle it differently. I learned this lesson a few years ago when I was eating 2, sometimes 3 eggs every morning, thinking it was a healthier choice than processed breakfast foods. At my subsequent medical checkup, my cholesterol levels had skyrocketed. My physician simply sighed and remarked, "It's the eggs, isn't it?" Recent U.S. studies from 2023 suggest that for many, dietary cholesterol has less impact on blood levels than once thought, per the American Heart Association. Still, for seniors with heart disease or diabetes, caution is advised. I'm not advocating for a complete elimination of eggs from your diet.
Absolutely not, but moderation is key. Rather than having 2 or 3 eggs daily, consider varying your breakfast. Perhaps enjoy eggs a few times a week. If you're particularly fond of eggs, you could use 1 whole egg and supplement with additional egg whites to increase volume without excessively increasing cholesterol intake. Furthermore, if you have existing heart conditions, diabetes, or are taking medication for cholesterol, exercise extra caution. Consult with your healthcare provider to determine a safe consumption level. In our later years, those seemingly minor figures on blood tests are significant. It's no longer solely about flavor, it's about ensuring we remain healthy for our loved ones, especially our grandchildren. Error number 5, employing inappropriate cooking fats with eggs. All right, this realization took me many years, and I must confess, it's a bit humbling. We were raised believing that fats like bacon drippings or butter enhanced every dish. And for eggs, the aroma of butter melting in a skillet is irresistible, isn't it? However, there's a significant issue. Many of the traditional cooking fats we used, such as plant-based oil, seed oil, or even animal fat, become hazardous when overheated. They degrade, emitting detrimental substances and generating unhealthy fats that have broken down, which are detrimental to your cardiovascular system and overall well-being. As for butter, despite my affection for it, it scorches rapidly. Before you know it, you have browned, smoking butter, which is not only unpalatable, but also unwholesome. What many people overlook is that eggs are fragile and don't require intense heat. Instead, they benefit from a stable, healthful fat that can withstand moderate temperatures. Nowadays, I opt for a small amount of olive oil or, on special occasions, avocado oil. Both are more resilient to heat and don't produce toxic byproducts. If you're concerned about taste, add a touch of salt and herbs during cooking, perhaps a sprinkle of red spice. This way, you achieve a delicious flavor without compromising your health. Believe me, your heart and your figure will appreciate the change. Blunder number 6, neglecting to accompany eggs with fiber-rich foods or vegetables. This final point is widespread. We were taught that eggs paired with toast or bacon constituted an ideal breakfast, straightforward, satisfying, and traditional. However, the reality is that if you're consuming eggs without incorporating fiber or vegetables, you're omitting a crucial component of the meal. As we get older, our digestive processes become less efficient and constipation can become a significant issue, though it's often not discussed openly. A breakfast high in protein and fat, like eggs, without any fiber, exacerbates this problem. While eggs are excellent, they lack fiber entirely. Not even a bit. I discovered this through personal experience, enduring weeks of lethargy, bloating, and discomfort. My physician inquired about my diet, specifically what I ate with my eggs. When I replied, toast and coffee, she nodded knowingly and said, "That's the issue, my dear." Now I ensure that every egg-based breakfast includes a source of fiber, perhaps leafy greens, fungi, a few cherry tomatoes, or other beneficial greens, or maybe some avocado. Occasionally, I'll add dark beans or a dash of ground seeds to aid digestion and maintain regularity. The improvement is remarkable: increased vitality, reduced bloating, and a much happier digestive system. So the next time you prepare eggs, consider what vibrant, fiber-packed addition you can include. Your body, particularly in these later stages of life, will be grateful. There you have it, my friend. 6 common oversights that can turn eggs from a beneficial food into a subtle threat, especially for older adults. At our age, it's not just about what we eat, but how we handle, preserve, and complement it. Stay wise, stay well, and I'll catch you in the next discussion.